listeners, and welcome to another episode of Bones of the Story. Today, Jen and I are talking about your TBR, your to be read list versus want to read list, with the exception of being a mood reader and making things more complicated than they should be. And I'll tell you how this conversation came to be because I'm surprising Jen with it right now. I started following this guy on Instagram because he's doing this really great thing about knocking off his physical to be read books. He's the one who started this whole trend thing that's happening with the spinny wheel and all that. And he recently posted a video that mood readers are not a thing. Yeah, he says you're not really a mood reader. He's like, you're tricking yourself essentially that your to be read is not exactly what you want to read at that moment. So if you change it from TBR and stop saying TBR of to be read and change it to want to read, you are essentially no longer a mood reader and you are just reading whatever you want. And I wanted your thoughts on that, Jen.
That's a really interesting take on it.
Do you want me to send you the video so you can see it really quick?
Yeah.
I don't fully agree, but I don't fully disagree with it either. Because a mood reader is more about the selection of the books. It's also about how you feel.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. Is this it? Oh, I thought he just originally did that. Okay. Oh, did he take his video off? No, it's not here no more.
Lame.
Huh. Well, how do I see? Is there a way to see videos you recently watched? Did I send this to anybody? Well, now I'm upset.
I know how to do it on TikTok. I don't know how to do it anywhere else.
Now I'm really upset because it was. Anyways, let's talk about this as I try and find this video. What if there a way you could like view or at least pause the recording? Okay, we're recording. So you've seen the video. I am a mood. Like I said, I agree with half of it. I don't agree with half of it. What are your thoughts? And we will make sure that the video and the guy is linked in the show notes so you can watch it for yourself. That was for the listeners. Since
Yeah.
obviously
I
you
got
just
that.
watched it. I didn't.
I mean, okay. I like the psychology behind changing it from to be read to want to read, because then it changes your perception of those books, which I actually really like.
Mm-hmm.
But I call bullshit on not being a mood reader because I love fantasy books, but I haven't been in the mood to read something like that in months because it's been too much. Like,
Mm-hmm.
fantasy requires a totally different headspace than rom-com or dark romance or whatever. And dark romance requires a whole different red headspace from rom-coms. So like, I call bullshit that mood reading isn't a thing, because I have wanted to read Queens of Mist and Shadow, or not Mist and Shadows, Queens of Mist and Monsters? I don't know, whatever the Lisette Marshall book is, for over a year. And I just have not been in the mood to go back into fantasy world. I haven't read any fantasy.
Oh, I thought that was the last one you read.
No, I haven't read it yet. Now, the audio didn't come out until like a few months ago. So it
Oh,
was only
okay.
a year behind
The
Queen.
book.
Yeah. Queens
Okay.
of Mist and Madness.
Oh, that's going to
Yeah.
be a good book.
Okay, well, it wasn't a year. It came out in September of 2024. But my I mean, it was still months after. It was like 6 or 7 months after the book came out, I
That's
think.
funny. Okay, so that's the part that I agree as well. Like, I like the reframe. Stop saying
Yes.
to be read and say, what do I want to read? But
Yes.
I am with you. I am a mood reader, and it's not necessarily the mood of the book. It's my internal, my personal mood that sets the tone of what I want to read.
Right.
So I don't think, and maybe it's like a guy versus girl thing. Maybe because we're, you know, have a higher emotional state than the average dude. And maybe, I don't know, maybe that's going way too psychology, but and that's why might be different for a guy being a mood reader versus a female being a mood reader.
Yeah, that's a good argument.
Yeah. I just thought it was interesting, and I've been thinking about it since he posted it and I saw it.
Yeah,
And I'm like, I like the want to read. I have
yeah,
like 10 want to read lists. But that doesn't mean that it's just magically going to disappear. It's not. And
yeah.
while we're on to be read,
Oh boy.
I find it really fascinating that there are people in the world who are like, "Oh, I've finished my to be read list." And I'm like, "Motherfucker, what did you have like 10 picture books on there or something?" Like, I don't think anybody could actually in their lifetime complete their to be read unless you like only ever just had like 50 books on there and you've never wanted to read anything else.
Well, I mean, I agree with you saying that you're never going to finish your TBR or WTR or whatever in your lifetime if you continue to add to it. But I think there is definitely something to be said for having a TBR and getting through it and then selecting from like the spreadsheet you have, or like if you're following authors, or like the kid said in his video, like you use the book app to find like your next set of TBR. I wish I could do something like that where I could, and I've tried. Like you and I have even talked about like, hey, I'm going to read this and then I'm going to go to this and then and it never happens. It never happens because then I find some stalker hitchhiker romance that takes me to the depths of hell and back.
And you enjoyed the ride.
I did.
It was
I
a
did.
nice scenic ride.
Yeah. So I think there's something to be said for like reading the books that you want to read and not being sucked into like shiny object syndrome. But at the end of the day, we're talking about reading books for fun. If you don't feel like picking something on your TBR and you saw some Instagram or TikTok or whatever video and you're like, oh my God, I have to read that right this second. I'm not your mom. Go fucking read the book. I don't give a shit if you pick a book off of your TBR or not. Like, I don't care. The only argument I have ever seen for getting through like buckling down and getting through your TBR, right? Is I think somebody asked Chat GPT, they're like, hey, convince me to read the books I have already instead of reading a new one. And Chat GPT was like, the character in that book wants you to read their story and it's making them sad that you keep choosing other stories over their story. And I was like, oh my god,
That is a mind fuck to begin with.
right? So like literally the only argument is now I feel bad for the characters sitting on my shelf that I haven't read yet. That is the only thing that would actually make me change how I read my books.
That's that's interesting. I don't think that's enough motivation for me though.
I mean, it's not for me. I read that months ago and I haven't picked up I haven't picked up one of the physical books I've bought. I also stopped buying physical books. So there is that.
Oh, that's good. I think the last physical book I bought was the last Guild Hunter book in Nailing, and that wasn't even I bought. It was pre-ordered like over a year ago, and then it just showed up on my door, being like, "Surprise!
Yeah.
This book is here." I still buy my physical books from my auto authors,
Yeah.
which that number has dwindled down significantly in the last few years. But I think I don't even really consider a TBR a TBR, at least in my head.
Right.
So, like, I have Kindle Unlimited, and my social media algorithms when I get on there are very good about hitting me with ads. Or I'm in
Right.
Facebook groups where they're very good at taking a screenshot of a scene and I'm like, I need to read this. And so I
Right.
literally have like a private Amazon wish list that says Kindle Unlimited, and that's where I drop all the unlimited books that I want to read. And I got quite a lot in there. And then I just go through there until something stands out. All the tabs open on my phone, like 99% of the tabs open on my phone are to books for KU.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
I have like over 100 tabs opened. Maybe not 100 no more because I dropped it down. Maybe more like 80 because I'll go and add them to that list. And so my physical TBR is half the books in my room. Mm, Not, I don't count my subscription books. Those don't count as any kind of to be read or want to read. They're just really pretty. I'm one of those
Yeah.
people who gets pretty books. I don't know what to tell you. If it's pretty and it's part of my subscription, well, it's going to sit on my shelf and it's going to be fine. I have books for work. Uh, the only thing that forces me to read if I don't want to read something is book club. And even then, I don't always read it.
Yeah.
I'm now just officially like the book club moderator in most of my book clubs because I'm, yeah. But yeah, I don't, like, even when we're talking about things to read for the podcast, like, we never say 2BR. It's not on our 2BR list. It's the podcast list, right? So I think
Yeah.
that's a thing that helps me is that I don't have that stigma,
Yeah.
you know, do fun games to help me pick what I'm reading. So uh, because of this gentleman, my friend Rebecca and I, we put our names in, not our names. What did we do? We put books. We wrote books down on physical pieces of paper, and she put her in a tin can and I put mine in a bag, and that's how we've been getting through the things. Because I think I told you what I started to do is I'm trying to read all the my KU books that I have downloaded because I have some downloaded for like 5 years ago and I haven't read them.
Right. Yes. Yes.
And so to get them off my my Kindle homepage essentially, the download, that's what we're doing. And so it's just been really fun. We've set some parameters. You have 5 skips. You have to read the book in 7 days, which works really well for me because I'm a really fast reader.
Yeah.
And yeah, and that's what we're doing.
No,
So it
I
makes
love.
it kind of fun,
Yeah.
but
Well, and it's like when we were doing our buddy jar, like
oh
that
my god.
helped tremendously.
Speaking of that, and I may cut this out or not, I think next season we should go back to the jar. We should reevaluate the jar and go back.
I like it.
I miss the jar.
I miss the jar too.
It just sits there and stares at us. The jar misses us and wants us to come back.
The jar wants us to read the characters that are living in the jar.
Yes. Yes.
That works for me.
Yes, it does. Anyways, okay. Well, I just thought that it was interesting. It's nice to chat about it.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we agree on the same things
Yeah.
because mood reader is definitely a thing.
Absolutely.
And I think there are different layers. There's the mood of what you want to read. Like maybe I just want dragons and I don't want to read anything but dragons.
Right.
Or, maybe because I'm in a sad space or I'm in a happy space or whatever, I want that to be reflected in the books that I'm reading.
Yeah.
So I think there are different layers to it all.
Yeah.
You don't have a TBR list, do you?
I mean, I have my physical TBR, like the books that I've bought that I haven't read yet, but I don't keep an official TBR and I'll tell you why. I know that I'm never going to read all of the books that I want to read, right? So instead of, and this is just kind of how I feel about TBRs, so this might be a hot take. I don't see the point because if I am meant to read it, I will read it at whatever point it comes back into my timeline. And and now I'm comfortable enough that like if I'm not enjoying a book, I just don't read it.
Mhm.
So I mean, there's definitely been times where I was like, "Ooh, what was that book?" Or, like so I don't know. I don't keep a TBR because I know that I'm not looking to read a certain number of books in a year. I'm not looking to read a certain number of like fantasy and rom-com and dark rom. Like I'm just reading for the pleasure of reading and visiting these worlds, and if I don't make it to all of the worlds that I would like to, then that's okay because I'm still enjoying the worlds that I'm reading.
All I'm hearing is the shame, shame, shame.
What? Why? There's no shame.
No, not in, like, a negative way. I mean, obviously, shame's in a negative way, but that was beautiful what you just said, and I wish that I had that same mindset. And maybe in some things that I do, like, I don't I don't always read to be in the world. I read because there's something interesting about, well, maybe I guess that is to be in the world. And I do the Goodreads challenge. Like, I I like that. So I read for numbers. That's not true because I always surpass. I just like putting a number and then seeing, "Ha, ha, ha, I did it." That's probably an ego boost thing going on there.
I I definitely enjoyed like having like the first year that I read, and my numbers are none compared to yours, so shut up. But like the first year I got fully back into reading, I read like my story graph was at like 116 or 118, one of those two. And I'm terrible about tracking. So like it felt really good to have read that many books in that year, but like I like the following year I read it was under 100, and I know this year's definitely going to be under 100. And I look at like the differences between 2022 and like the subsequent years, and I'm just doing more. Like I'm just busier with other
Mhm.
hobbies. Like Mike and I started playing video games. I'm back to riding my horse. I take really long bubble baths when I don't normally read during. I know, it's very weird. I thought that was gonna
What?
be, like I thought that my bubble baths would be, like, a good, like, reading space, but I end up, like, just chilling and, like, listening to music or taking a nap.
Okay, bubble bath is very good for taking a nap, I will give you that.
So, I don't life has been a lot more full of other hobbies and activities and that kind of thing. So it's been and I'm not driving to and from town anymore either.
Okay.
So I was in my car for almost 3 hours every single day. So that was a lot of reading too, and I don't have that time. I leave my house like maybe 3 times a week now, and two of those times I'm normally with my family.
Yeah. I mean, I will give you that quality over quantity is also very good, but as
Yeah.
we have previously talked about, I don't really have a life. Reading is my life, so
And I love that for you.
but that makes sense. I like your philosophy of I'm good if I'm gonna read it, I'll read it at some point. But I also I want it there, so if I wanna force myself maybe not force, but, like, if I wanna put it in my pathway again on purpose, because we all know I don't always remember everything, so we know that I see this ad or I see this author and I wanna read it. Well, I wanna save it here for when I feel in the mood. And it would
Yeah.
be different if I didn't scroll through the list. Like, I do scroll through the list quite a few times a month trying to find what I'm going to read next. So I do feel like it's not just sitting there taking up, virtual space. So,
Right. Well, and I feel like when you have that much additional time and you do read that fast, I feel like having a TBR makes sense because the likelihood of you getting through your list is so much higher than mine.
mhm.
Like if I'm only averaging, let's say, between 50 and 80 books a year, like I'm just not going to read everything I want to read. And I'm also not willing to sacrifice time spent in other places to hit numbers. It's just not that important to me.
Yeah.
So the only thing that I'll say that I don't like about me being like this is there are other fantasy series that I want to read, and I have a really hard time starting them anymore. So, and it's not because I don't love the series, it's just because I know I'm going to get that much more like rom-coms, dark romance, like I love the story for what it is. We get in, we get out, and then we're moving on with our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Where fantasy, like it's like for me, it's an immersive experience. And
Yep.
then you have fantasy books that are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 books long or still being created. And I have a really hard time disconnecting from that world and coming back
To
to
reality.
reality. So I have a harder time getting into those because it takes me so much longer to get out of them. And it's one of the things I love about it, but I have not had the mental space for that type of immersive experience in months. So it makes it a lot harder.
Yeah. Commitment. I have commitment issues to series too.
Yeah.
I especially have commitment blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Commitment issues with non-completed series.
That's the other thing I'm realizing. Like that's almost why I don't want to start that one series that we've been talking about
I
starting for
know
like
what
2 years.
series you're talking
I
about.
know you do.
Okay. Well, I just found out the reason why we're waiting so long. And that's
Yeah.
because Bloom Books bought them. They are now going from indie publishing to traditional publishing, and that's why there's a big gap. They're re-releasing all the books. So if you want the first 4 books in the original covers, you got to get them now because
Yeah, but then the subsequent ones aren't gonna match.
5 to 7, they have specifically said that they are not reprinting them in the indie. They've already said that in their
Yeah.
release.
I mean, that sucks, but like I would rather have all of my covers match. So, oh well. But yeah, that's why I haven't read that series because I am afraid I wouldn't go back to it. And I want to know. Like one of my favorite series ever is the Flesh and Fire series. Couldn't care less about the Blood and Ash series. But like Flesh and Fire, I love that couple. I love everything about them and I want to know what happens. Haven't done it. And the same thing with Plated Prisoner. I haven't done that one either.
Wow.
Same thing with the Fae Isles. I haven't read the final book. Like it's just I have a very hard time going back to a series.
Yeah. Well, in my defense, the reason why I haven't finished the 4th book in the Fae Isle series is because I've been waiting for you because I listened to your version. But maybe if I start listening to it and start talking about it, it might prompt you to do it.
Maybe. And now, I mean, yeah, maybe. And now that I know it's out on. Now I kind of want to listen to all of them again and just
Oh my god, I'm not re-listening to all of them.
that's cuz you didn't like them. I loved them.
It's not that I didn't
And
like
they made me
them.
so
It's not that I didn't like them.
I need to know when the final book comes out of that other series too to see if I can go back to finishing that one.
Which other series? Play Prisoner or the
Witch Collector.
Oh, yeah, she hasn't written it. It's not out yet.
I know it's not out, but it is. Yeah, Kingdom. Finally feel like we're in the home stretch.
Okay. This was a very good topic. I'm glad that we got to discuss
Yeah, this is fun.
something to percolate about.
All right. So are we ready to wrap?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, listeners. Let us know. Are you a mood reader? Do you agree that mood reading is a thing? Do you have a TBR? Would you switch it to a want to read? All of the things. We want to know all the things. Let us know on Instagram at Bones of the Story, and we will see you next time.
Thank you for joining us on the journey into the shadows of love, where dark romance stories come to light.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Bones of the Story as much as we did. If you did, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. Your feedback means the world to us.
And to stay updated on all things dark romance, follow us on social media. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
We'd also love to hear from you. Share your thoughts, ideas, or even your own dark romance stories with us. Drop us a line at bonesofthestory@gmail.com.
Remember, our next tantalizing episode is just around the corner, so keep your hearts open and your senses sharp.
Until then, embrace the darkness and let the stories continue to stir your deepest desires.
This is Misty
And Jen,
signing off
from Bones of the Story.